Hello again everyone, and welcome back to some sweet Dark Souls 3 hot invasion action. We're back down at soul level 30 with my high vitality Poise character. And I'll tell you what, I fucking love this build. I haven't used this build in a little while, and coming back down to soul level 30, stacking on that Poise and smashing that greatsword, it's been great fun. I've been loving it. So for this first invasion, I'm pretty sure this guy was it was streaming. I looking at his character name and sort of how the phantoms that get summoned in interact with me, I'm pretty sure this guy was streaming, and I accidentally sniped him. I only think that basically because we get two watchdogs that invade us, that invade with me, and instead of coming to help me, they instantly go for me. There's no sort of hanging about, and there's no sort of waiting to see what happens. You know, both of them instantly go for me. You can see it here. So I'm fighting him, got my war pick out, and I'm doing some nice chip, doing some good roll catches, and then boom, both of them fucking come and try and dice me up. And it's like, oh, for fuck's sake. So that's what makes me think that this guy was streaming, because obviously people are trying to invade or you know, co-op with him, etc, etc, and they took offence to me beating up on him. So I get the two moronic watchdogs. I mean, this could just be watchdogs being watchdogs, and you know, having porridge for brains made them think, oh look, the guy is red and we're blue, so we have to attack him. So I get these two guys trying to gank me, and it's just like, okay, fine, you know, mate, guys, this is my bread and butter, 2v1s. It's like, so I'm just going for my turn and burns, and obviously because I've stacked on all this poise, you know, there's nothing that's going to stop me swinging that fucking greatsword. I'll tell you what, I want to sing the praises for the bastard sword for a little bit. It's pretty medium when you're reaching high levels and you want to make a greatsword choice. The bastard sword is a pretty poor choice. However, at really low soul levels, from about soul level 10, maybe up to soul level 40, I would say, when you're doing a twink character, the bastard sword is absolutely amazing. It's got the lowest stat requirements of any greatsword, I believe. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. So you barely have to invest anything. It's I think 16 strength and 10 dex, and that's your investment, so you can one-hand the thing. And if you just wanted to exclusively use it two-handed, you almost have to put nothing into strength whatsoever. So it's got that going for it. It works well with a heavy infusion when you're two-handing it, and you'll get more damage out of it than you would if you were using the raw infusion. Its disadvantages, it's shorter than the claymore, but the only thing that I love about the biggest thing I love about the bastard sword is its low stat requirements. So it works really well on the twink character, and if you stack on poise like I've done now, you really get the most out of this greatsword, because at this level, I know I've mentioned it before, at this level what you'll be expected to find when you're invading is a lot of sort of smaller weapons, and maybe you'll start seeing some great swords, and maybe you'll see the exile curve great sword occasionally. But because I've stacked on poise, I've got nearly 50 poise with this character, I can poise through absolutely everything. I can even poise through one-handed ultra great sword swings, which you will see in invasions later. So there's you won't see you know, password summons. Obviously there are an exception, but mostly you will be able to poise through any weapon that you find in the Farron Swamp, which is absolutely fantastic. Like, halberds were giving me jip when I originally designed this character like months and months ago, and that's only because I had like 30 or so poise. I wasn't using the build to its full potential. So after I stuck on the Havel's ring and I went and got the Wolf ring +3, you know, the halberds won't stop me. You know, greatsword, you find a lot of one-handed greatswords at this level, especially the claymore. I fought a lot of claymores. Like, being able to poise through everything is fantastic. Nothing can stop me. So this fight has dragged on for a little bit, and the watchdogs have eventually been put down. This poor blue gets his guard broken by the exile, and he gets the point down because he's blue. Get a real covenant, man. And so it's now me and the host. I mean, this guy was fighting quite well when I was fighting one-on-one at the beginning. He was playing quite reactive, but also in an aggressive manner. But unfortunately, he's been bled dry over the Estus with fighting me and the exiles and the other invaders and stuff. So, see, I've gone over to the spear here, and I've had the spear deep infused because purely for what this guy was doing. He was holding his shield up whenever I was going in for my running attack to try and block me, but because I've got it deep infused, I get a little bit of chip damage through that, so people who are turtling on no health won't be able to last forever. So that was a good invasion. That was good fun. So I'm sorry if that was a guy who was streaming and I sniped him by accident. So this next invasion was quite an unpleasant gank. You know, it's the Farron Swamp. You're almost guaranteed to find at least one unpleasant gank in an evening of playing, but these guys were quite obnoxious gankers. Both password summoned phantoms, I believe. One's got Gundyrs, and one of them's got... the other guy with the Ultra Great Sword's got quite good fashion. I like that fashion. The Cathedral Knight helm with the standard knight armour. I might have to use that. Some good fashion there. So yeah, these guys were pretty obnoxious gankers. They hadn't killed absolutely everything in the level, which was, you know, quite fortunate for me. But most of the decent enemies had already been slaughtered by these guys, and they were just hanging around, waiting for invaders to show up. So yeah, I mean, with everything being dead and all, I need distractions. So I just split these two up. Unfortunately, because we're in a the watchdog area. Plenty of watchdogs get summoned in to keep these guys busy whilst I'm able to do damage and pick off these guys one by one. And this guy was pretty trash. The guy with the Ultra Great Sword, he couldn't fight on his own. That's gankers. the host was probably the most competent out of the lot of them, to be honest. The other two were pretty useless on their own. That gold pine resin. Gold pine resin buff. Yeah, like I was saying with the bastard, it doesn't do good damage either. You get quite good returns out of the heavy infusion, obviously, but at this low soul level you're going to be doing pretty piss poor damage. So it's always useful to buff with either the bundles or whatever resins you can get your hand on. Obviously dark pine is the best, gold pine resin's good as well, and even if you just can do the fire bundles and stuff, that you still get really good returns out of that. See, having the poise to poise through Gundyrs like that, the version 1.0 of this character, if you dig through my older videos, you'll see I was wearing like the Lothric Knight armour and stuff, so I had sort of a medium poise build, and the halberds were giving me so much jip because you need like 42 poise to be able to indefinitely swing through a halberd, and because it's got good range and it's good at keeping you at range, I was having real trouble with it. But now I can just poise right through this bullshit. So get fucked Gundyrs, boy. Where's your prisoner's chain? Jesus Christ. So as you can see, they're not particularly good whilst they're on their own. All they can do is sort of mash R1 and try and break through my hyper armor. This red guy was pretty good. The guy with the Dragon Slayer axe. I invaded with him a couple of times in my stint at the swamp. He was, he's just your bog standard Dragon Slayer axe twink, but he was pretty good at keeping people split up. See, swinging through a one-handed ultra swing, that's just so invaluable. Like, because a lot of gankers like to use their ultras one-handed so they can keep their shield, because they don't really see the benefit of, they don't understand the benefit of two-handing, and they want to have that shield. Yeah, I go over to see. I heard a parry noise. I was like, "Oh shit! I need to go and see who got parried." And fortunately, my my watchdog friend was the one doing the parrying. Hooray! So now I get get some good damage on this white guy, because obviously he doesn't understand spacing and he's just wildly mashing R1 whenever I'm close to him. But whilst the other two are distracted by the watchdog, I get this guy on his own. Get poised on, son. Roll catch. No drinking here. Roll catch. And the host is just in time to watch me roll catch the poor fucker. So now it's 2v2 at the moment. Unfortunately, I don't have quite enough poise to indefinitely swing through two-handed greatswords. So I can swing when my poise health is at 100%. If I haven't been hit and I've reset my poise health, I can swing through one swing of a greatsword. So that's usually enough, to be honest, because you don't meet a lot of people who are going to have that much poise that they can also swing through my greatsword swing. So I will knock them out before they knock me out. But I mean, I could drop all the surplus. You can drop all the surplus equipment on this build. Sorry, Watchdog, I couldn't save you. but thank you for distracting the other two. So yeah, you can drop all the surplus equipment on this build, and you can bump yourself up to like 51 poise with the heavier armour, and then you can pretty much swing through anything with reckless abandon, save for like two-handed ultra grades. You're basically unstoppable at that point. But I need to have that flexibility. I've got the spear on this build at this point, but I have since moved over to the not to the Mansa, actually, sorry, the what do you call it, the hand axe, that's what you call it, in my offhand. I need to have that flexibility so I can do chase downs and roll catches, because although the greatsword is great, no pun intended, when you're, you know, people are running to, when they're advancing towards you, when you're trying to play offensively, unlucky Gundir. when you're trying to play offensively and chase people down, the greatsword is absolute trash. You know, there's nothing you can do if they're playing passively and reaction rolling you. But you can, if you wanted to take this build up and just go full poise, you could do it, and like not even like I said, save for two-handed ultras. There's nothing that's going to stop you swinging, which is, you know, a pretty fun concept. I've played around with it, and I know you can put the Lothric Knight Spear on your back and have that as a backpack if you really wanted to go super uber poisey. But you know, 50 poise, that's plenty good enough for me, plenty good enough. So this guy, chicken shit, absolute scrub lord. As soon as Gundir's died, he fucking pegged it back to the bonfire. What the fuck is at the bonfire? I don't know. Perhaps he just wanted to stop watchdogs invading him so he could try and gank me with his blue ball friend. Fortunately, this blue is trash as well, because he's using Way of White Corona. Or maybe his build, maybe he knows something that we don't, and he secretly discovered a way to make the Way of White Corona viable in PvP. But, you know, we'll never know, I suppose. But fortunately, I've got a pink friend. At the moment, at least he's at least vaguely competent, using, I think that's either the Drake Blood or the Hollow Slayer. So at this point in the invasion, I'm getting quite fatigued. I'm pretty annoyed with this guy, so I make a lot of sloppy mistakes and a lot of trades that I don't really want to make. And I'm already out of Estus at this point because I've made all these mistakes and stuff. My Estus has gradually been bled out. But he ain't doing too hot either. Ornstein, fucking Claymore asshole. There you go, you see. Get that poise, son. So, get good, ganker. Get fucking good. Get more poise. Poise for the boys. Get the shit on. Kiddo. GG. So, as much as I enjoy getting ganks in the Farron Woods, I decided to move down to the swamp. I love this area to invade. It is the best and also the worst place to invade. It's really, really fun because this is not a ganking hotspot zone, so it's very rare that you'll find dedicated gank squads and people who are just ready, just waiting for invaders to steamroll. So you get a lot of big co-op groups as well, obviously, but no really obnoxious ganks. So these guys were a super fun group. That we got a Smo password summoned Phantom, who's also a parry king, and he's using the fucking Chaos Dagger, because of course he is, and he's fishing for crits like a fucking motherfucker. Jesus Christ. Oh, I mean, I love low soul level, and I'm not going to swing twice on your shield, you absolute dipshit. Like, I love low soul levels, and soul level 30 is perhaps one of my favourite sort of twink zones, because you got a little bit more flexibility with your build, and fucking, so he gets me a lucky parry there. Yeah, you get a bit more flexibility with your build, and obviously you don't get as much if you do suffer from twink guilt, which I don't. Yeah, but if you do suffer from twink guilt, you know, you can live safe in the knowledge that the host and his phantoms will have a little bit more Estus and equipment in order to deal with you. So, alright, I've instantly thought, I saw him parry spam to begin with, and he gets me with that lucky crit, because all he wants to do is mash fucking L2 every time I fucking look at him. So at this point I'm really missing having a crossbow, and I think I am going to have to keep a crossbow at least in my inventory just to deal with these specific kinds of assholes. But fortunately this guy is not quite the parry spam god. he does go into quite a reliable pattern with with his parry spam, and I'm able to quite easily exploit it, because you can see he swings his ultra great, and then he waits for me to space him and go in for the attack, and then he'll go in for the parry. So I've already filed that away for later. So I'm giving him fucking the BM, and like, does he know that I'm mocking him for his parry spam? Like, does he feel good when he mashes the L2 and nothing happens? Like, I don't understand the mentality. I mean, you know, people will always look for the path of least resistance when it comes to, you know, any video game, and obviously parry spam at low levels is very hard to punish, because like, what's going to happen if I miss? Oh, he's going to take 80 damage. Oh dear. So he goes for a swing. I space him and he goes for the parry, and I can easily circle around for the backstab for him. So I've clocked on to that's what he wants to do now. He's going to wait for me to space him and then just go for the parry. So that's the important thing with parry spam, is like, the good parry spammers will not put a pattern into their spamming, and you know, they'll mix in a lot of straight sword R1s, and it will just you know, they will be able to get a read on you, whereas you won't be able to get a read on them, and that's the sort of their whole tactic. But most parry spammers are like this guy as well. They'll usually have a pattern that they'll stick to in order to try and catch you. So unless you're using a weapon that can't be parried or a crossbow, you need to sort of recognise and sort of take advantage of their patterns and of their spamming. You see, you know, like, they've dealt with the Corvians now, and so now I've just moved up to the Dark Wraiths. And I know a lot of people whinge and cry, go, oh, why do invaders do this? They just hide in the enemies. Like, well, you know, what, do you expect me to just stand there, like, and try and fight both of you at the same time, or one of you's mashing parry and one of you's got an ultra great sword? Like, that's like, fuck off. So I give him more of the BM with, you know, mocking him for his parry spam and throwing bombs at him, trying to goad them and, you know, basically taunt them into coming into the enemies with me. And I tell you what, it always fucking works. Like, they might think that they don't want to come out and fight me until you give them a few obnoxious gestures and maybe throw some purr at them. And then they go, oh, I'm not going to stand for this. Let's go get them, boys. It's just, they're so fucking, hosts and phantoms are so easy. Oh, look at that. Poise through a one-handed greatsword, ultra greatsword. Absolutely bonkers. And it looks like at this point, poor old Smo has finally run out of Estus. But not before the host comes and tries to bat me away with that exile. Still does some good damage. And I can't with this build, two-handed ultra curve greatswords, no match for this Poise. Buff up, one last offensive. And Smo. Poor, he's my target now. I need to get Smo out of the way, and just before he dies, he has to go for one last parry. I hope that was fucking worth it. I hope that one last parry before you met your untimely demise was worth it. So fucking get good. Stop parry spamming. It doesn't make you MLG pro. And so now, without his parry spamming over-leveled Phantom, all this guy can do is mash R1 and get absolutely shat on by my big boy Poise. Ooh, look at them roll catches. And that Poise ain't swinging through this boy. So, GG. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, it was fun. Putting those kind of players down, those parry spam players, it's just too fun sometimes. So this next invasion was short but sweet, and it's these kind of invasions that you have to really savour and enjoy, you know, when you're hitting that red eye orb. I mean, spanking a gank is all, it's you know, that's really fun. I enjoy spanking a good gank, but this kind of invasion, well, I've rolled up on them. I see what they're doing. I've got the obscure ring on. I'm just waiting for an opportunity to sort of pounce on them to attack, trying to follow in Pathfinder's sort of footsteps, setting my little ambushes and stuff. And so I see that they're climbing the ladder to go up to the demon and to the old wolf, and wait for them to get quite high up, throw nice spam, full damage, and then boom, dead. I I walk away, and the gold's left. Go, oh shit. So those are the kind of moments you have to savour as an invader. That was really fun. Oh, so these guys, I rod up on these guys a couple of times in my time down in the down in the swamp. I don't know if they were ganking or just trying to get a party together to go and fight the boss, but this guy was a summoning motherfucker, and I've sort of rolled up on them at this point, and it's sort of me and a Mad Phantom and the host. So obviously this guy has dried fingers running to have 2 invaders in the world. So you know there is no quarter to be shown for this guy. He smashed those dried fingers, and you know he wanted invaders. So I'm gonna fucking invade. And the pink is very good. He's twinking, obviously. You should be twinking when you're at these low levels. And he's just staying out my way. You know, let me do the business. And I've been trying to practice my spam, not my spams, my parries. So I say parries, I instantly think spam. I've been trying to practice my parries because it's sort of one of those things I try and avoid. I'm pretty crap with parries. Like even when I have a parry shield on my build, it's very rare that I'll actually go for one. So I've been trying to practice sort of like not reaction parries because those are so fucking difficult to do, and I have really shit reactions. But like my face tank parries, and you know, wake up parries, and you know, when you hit each other and you both get stunned, and then they go straight into attacking, you can parry that attack quite handily. So I've been practicing all that. And these are the kind of fights where you can live safe with the knowledge that you can practice these kinds of tech. Boom. See the another. I'm talking about Bastard Sword again. When you're one-handing the R1, R1, and then going into the R2 like that is quite. It's not really reliable roll catch, but you can I'd say about 50% of the time you can roll catch people with that. So you get them with 2 R1s and then you go R2, and if they're rolling directly backwards and then panic rolling, that R2 will usually catch them. So that's quite nicely. It's not as good as the straight sword R1, R1, R2, but it's pretty good. So I've rolled up on this party again, and they're at full strength at this point. They haven't got the third Phantom, fortunately, but they're password summoned, of course. So the Gru are still alive. So using this is quite a good idea. Using the poison mist as a sort of a smoke screen, so they can't see what I'm doing, and going in and doing damage. You see the poison smoke screen blocked their vision, so I ran around the building, ran into the back entrance to try and do some damage. So eventually the Gru get whittled down, and it's just sort of me and the pink has invaded back in again, same guy. So it's a nice 3v2. Unfortunately these guys aren't all that good at PvP. So, you know, there's lots of them, but we can take advantage of their lack of experience. And again, you see they're using ultra great swords one-handed. You see so many hosts and phantoms and gankers do that because, like I said, they don't understand the benefit of poise and two-handing. So they want to keep that shield up at all times. Well, he goes two-handed there, which I suppose is fair enough. So there's nothing I can do poise-wise to deal with that stuff. At this point, it's just a case of trying to stay me and the pink staying out of each other's way. Unfortunately, the white is squishy and he gets put down first. Really easy walk around backstab for gold. Yeah, fortunately for this pink is quite good. He was a good partner to invade with. We generally stayed out of each other's way, which is all you can ask for really with an invader partner. You take on your share of the party, and you stay out of the other invader's way, and you just hope that your other invader friend is competent enough in order to take out their phantom, and then you can work on you know, the chase down of the host. So he's gone to deal with the last of the gold, and I go and deal with the host. So GG hosty, that was nice. That was a good fun brawl. And GG Pink, you were a good teammate. I wish I could invade with people like you all the time. So for this final invasion, you see I've got a hand axe on my build now. This sort of, I saved up my souls and I bought some titanite, and I raw infused a hand axe. I use it a lot on my soul level 90 guy, and I love this weapon. Mokalate and I am Amish both use it, and it's such a beast. It's, you know, it doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's the ability to roll catch and chase people down. You can get people in really nasty roll catch chains with this weapon, and it's a perfect counterpart to something like a greatsword, which, you know, you can roll catch with a greatsword, but you can't chase people with a greatsword. I mean, these guys were they might have been sort of, you know, password summoned or in a party together, but they certainly weren't twinking, and they weren't, you know, scaled down phantoms. So this was just a nice, wholesome invasion where I felt I played quite well, and these guys played well as well. So I won't, you know, shit on this particular party, because they were all level appropriate, or, you know. This is how I wish all invasions went. Like, they're all level appropriate. Oh, this guy is scaled down, but obviously, alright, he's not scaled down loads, so they're all level appropriate, and, you know, this is how I want all PvP to be, not just password summoned level 800 smos and Havel mages. But, you know, c'est la vie. So it comes to a sort of a them trying to chase me into the swamp, and at this point, like, I'm at a major disadvantage here because I have no backup, and it's just I have to just do my turn and burns when I can. And unfortunately, because they sort of stay quite spread out, I'm able to get the golden zone, and he gets smooshed. So again, like I said, I've been trying to work on my parries, so I'm forcing myself to go to the Cestus. So when I feel like I'm in a comfortable position, and at this point I feel now there's only 2 of them, I feel quite comfortable to go over to the Cestus to try for some parries. Yeah, see, we both got each other in stun by hitting each other at the same time, and I predicted that he was going to wake up with an attack right out of stun, so that was quite a satisfying parry. See, I'm actually parry. Managed to get another one there. I'm trying not to spam it out. Obviously, I don't want to become that guy. I don't want to fall into that trap. But, you know, boy needs to practice. At least sort of, I'm at least vaguely sort of predicting and reacting to what they're doing, sort of just mashing out. He gives me a nice bow there. Maybe he thought I was playing well. So thank you, White. Yep, we'll catch. Go for that Cestus. Just go to smack him upside the head just to get that last bit of health. No spam here today, so GG White. That was good fun. And now it's just a matter of dealing with the host. The hostess with the mostess. So yeah, I really urge people to give Poise build a go at this level. I will leave a description. I'll leave in the description a link to Souls Planner where you can have a look at the build, and you know, if you have any suggestions in order to make the build better, I'd really love to hear from you. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you later.